I stood in the middle of a vineyard, sunlight spilling across the rows of vines, my chest pounding as if a storm had taken root inside me. Behind me, the seats were empty. Not one member of my family had come to watch me marry the woman I loved. They had chosen a different celebration instead. My parents, my brother, even the friend I had trusted most. None of them were there. For a moment I told myself they might be late, that there had been some mistake. But deep down I knew better. Their absence was intentional. When my phone buzzed again and again, I ignored it. I smiled for the guests, raised my glass, cut the cake. But the truth pressed harder with every vibration in my pocket. Later, when I finally checked, there were dozens of missed calls and a single text from my mother. We need to talk. I stepped out into the crisp evening air and called her back. Her voice was flat, almost impatient. She didn't ask how the wedding was. Instead, she explained that my brother's promotion party had been scheduled for the very same night. His boss's family was only available then, so they'd made the choice to attend his event instead of mine. And then came the blow that hollowed me out. The money I had sent them a year before, the $12,000 I'd carefully saved for my own wedding, had been spent on that party. Crystal decorations, a string quartet, a gourmet chef. Even Owen, the friend I trusted with everything, had been there celebrating my brother while I stood alone on the most important day of my life. I hung up and struggled to breathe. It wasn't just that they hadn't come. They had stolen from me. They had stolen my joy, my place in their lives, and any illusion I had left about what I meant to them. The next morning I woke with a strange clarity. For years I had been their safety net, covering car payments when my father's business failed, paying for my brother's education, sending money for my mother's essentials that somehow turned into luxury purchases, even lending Owen thousands when he was in trouble. I opened my accounts and traced every dollar. Over time, it added up to $159,000, all taken because I never said no. This time, I did. I shut down the accounts, reported the charges, and cut the financial cord they had wrapped so tightly around me. My brother's next big event collapsed without my money. His guests arrived to an empty hall with nothing but cheap snacks and silence. His carefully built reputation began to crumble, and my parents had nothing left to say. Owen tried to reach out, but I didn't answer. Nora and I escaped to a small cabin by the lake, where the only sound was the crackle of firewood and the quiet that finally let me breathe. She told me the truth I had always avoided. They never really knew me, not who I truly was. To them, I had been a resource, not a son, not a brother, not a friend. When I later heard that my brother was twisting the story, telling people I'd skipped my own wedding out of jealousy, I knew I couldn't stay silent. I posted the truth. No names, just the facts. My family hadn't come. They had used my money for another celebration, and this was what I was left with. Photos of my wife and me smiling in front of rows of empty seats. That picture spoke louder than anything I could have written. People who saw it understood immediately. Even his boss's family learned what really happened. His lies fell apart. Mine was the story that remained. The unexpected part was what came after. Strangers began writing to me, telling me they had lived through the same kind of betrayal, the same kind of invisibility. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a shadow. I was seen. Later, Nora and I hosted a small gathering with people who genuinely cared about us. No strings, no debts, no expectations, just laughter and warmth. And that was enough. I don't need their apologies. I don't need them back. What I have now is far better. My wife, my peace, and the strength to finally stop being their ghost.